Just a second. Okay. So once you get here, how are we going to win the game? How are we going to promote our pawn? Because the king is in front, it can't go this side because of the opponent king, and it can't go this side. And even if it comes here when the rook is not there, rook will come back and give a check, right? So a very normal thing to do here would be just give a check first, right? If you do not know the technique and you're still trying to win it, this is how we would probably do it. So first, let's understand what is wrong with the normal approach, and then we will see how to actually do the technique of the Lucena and win it. By the way, this position can be on any side of the board, like anywhere. This pawn can be C, D, anywhere. The technique is the same, the process is the same. So let's say we give a check. The king cannot come to the C file, come neck close to the pawn, because then what will white do? White would just move the king here and there's no way to stop the pawn. So this move will give a hiding place for the king, which opponent will not play. So what will he do? He will move his king a little bit away. He is forced to do that, right? Hello, could you type your actual name so I can call you by, this is going to be like an actual class. So to have the interaction better, if you could type in your name, I'll be calling you with the name. If those who are here already. Okay. So a king moves a little bit away, right? He is forced to. And now the most normal thing to do would be just to come out with the king. But what's the problem? That the rook will give a check. And are we able to get out of the checks? We can move here, but again check. If you go too far, pawn will go. Okay, Anurag Sharma. Oh, wow. 10 standard, all right. From Himachal. Okay, I've always wanted to visit Himachal, but it never happened. All right, hi Anurag. So king will go here, then again check. And white king is not able to move far away. I mean, move from the check and promote the pawn, right? So this is the problem we face when we just give a check, make the king go away, and then try to come out with our king. So let's go back a little bit. When the position was this, first move was correct. Making the king go to the other side is definitely correct. Okay, all right. Good time to see some chess with a sip of hot tea or coffee, I suppose. Okay, so rook check, king moves away. Now, the key move that will help you win this kind of position, the Lucena position, is rook to the fourth rank. It might seem like it's a non-consequential move, because what does it do? It's like a waiting move, right? If it is black side, then from black fifth rank, if you're trying to win from the other side, right? Okay, that's good. 600 low. Of course, you'll go like higher soon enough, I'm sure. So rook to d4 to the fourth rank. We'll understand why the move is played. Hello, no signal gaming. What is your name, if you do not mind? 1000 low, all right. So we have Anurag and we have 4 other people right now in the stream. Anyway, so coming back, so we made the king go away. Then we came to the fourth rank, a mysterious move. Hello, hi Aman. Aman, right? Okay. Rook comes to the fourth rank. Let's say black just waits because black has nothing better to do, right? Moving the king doesn't do anything. By the way, we did not come here because then the king would attack the rook. So we keep a little bit distance from the king and we come to the fourth rank because now we bring the king out. What's the difference now? Black will again give check. He won't let you promote. You again come out. Again check. Still, there's no, it doesn't seem like there's a difference, right? But no. The rook is here. Why did we play it here? Again check. Now king comes out into the open. Why? Because he's got the rook to support. Now again check. But now comes the point of your rook on the fourth rank. You basically built a bridge, a cover with the rook, and now there is no way for black to do anything. This is why king has to be a little bit away. Opponent king had to be pushed a little bit away because now after exchange, king can't take the pawn. And if you don't exchange, pawn will anyway promote. So it looks very simple once you learn it. Step 1, push the opponent king 1 file away. Step 2, bring your rook to the fourth rank, building a bridge. And step 3, get out of the hiding place and block the check with the rook and you win the game. So this is the Lucena position, right? My FIDE rating, no signal given, that's Amen, right? My FIDE rating is 1713 right now. Highest ever was 1758. So I'm trying to reach 2000, which I hope should happen in the next few years, hopefully. Okay, so that's our first position. How you win with one extra pawn? You basically get to the Lucena position. You push your pawn forward with the help of the king, keep the opponent king cut off by one file, and if opponent keeps giving checks, hide in front of the pawn. Don't worry, you can get out by using the Lucena technique. That's it. Now, okay, so now second position we're going to see is the exact opposite of the Lucena. When you're a pawn down, how you're going to defend. So let's say in a Rook Endgame, let's say opponent has a black pawn. Let's say pawn is here, black king is here, your king is here, and your rook is also here, and black rook is over here, right? You can see the position here. Yeah, perfect. So here the defending side has managed to get his king in front of the opponent's pawn. So it won't be easy for the pawn to come and promote. But our king is not able to move up. The black rook is active, right? Our rook is just waiting there, stopping the checks, forcing our king away. So this rook is also important. If not for this rook would have come down and made the king go out, and his king would have come in. So this kind of position we need to reach to be able to defend with the Philidor draw. So how do we defend from here? That's very important because it will save you a lot of games, which might seem lost. Rook to g4. Interesting. I think you already know some of the Rook Endgame concepts. So the problem is, if you let this king, Rook to g4 is not the right move actually. No, Rook g4 is not right. For a moment I thought Rook g4 is the right thing. No, but it's no. Rook g4 might seem like the most natural thing, which is stopping the pawn from going forward, but no, it doesn't work. It loses. So the idea here is, if you let your opponent's king come one more step down to the third rank, Rook g8, no, if you go back, then the king comes in. King comes in. If you go Rook g8, for example, king comes here. And then you give a check, king comes here. And so if you let the king come down one more rank, then it's over. So the important move right now is, one of you told it, Rook g3. That's very important because it stops the king from coming down. Pawn coming down is what we want. So once he pushes the pawn, because there's nothing else for him to do, right? If he gives a check, we'll come up. That's not a problem. So he will push the pawn, finally. And that's what we want. Once he pushes the pawn, then we go back. Because now his king cannot hide. His king cannot come down because the pawn is blocking the way. Right? So once the pawn crosses the third rank and the king is not crossing the third rank, you can draw by just giving checks from the back. And now whatever black does, he cannot avoid the checks. Like for example, he moves the king, check. Right? Don't let him push the pawn or push the rook down. You keep, what does it mean? What if check? In which position I mean? What do you mean? Check in, instead of rook g8 you're saying? This one. That one you're allowing king down, no? Now you're, if you do by black, oh, then the king just comes up. So after rook g8, if he gives a check, we just come out. That's not a problem because he cannot do anything more. He can keep giving checks. We'll keep going up and down, right? And after 8-1. Oh, you mean after the black king? So this check we will not do. After pawn push, we bring the rook behind. That is the Philidor draw. So after we bring the rook behind, black has nothing to do. He is threatening checkmate, but we won't let him, right? We keep giving checks. And there's no way for the black king to hide. If black king comes too far away, we attack the pawn and then he'll have to go back and defend with the king. If the king is too far here, then the pawn is gone. Black will defend, but then king will come and pick it up. So this is how you draw. So when you're defending, try to get the Philidor position. Get your king in front of the pawn. Don't let the king cross the third rank. Or if you are the other side, if you're black and you're playing from that side, then don't let the king cross the sixth rank. Once the pawn crosses that rank, you go behind. And then you start giving checks. So if you are the the winning side, you try to get the Lucena position. And if you are the defending side, you try to get the Philidor position. Basically, you get your king in front of the pawn, and then you will be able to do these things. How to do endgame positional evaluation? I mean, endgames you have to study basically. Technical endgames like this, you have to study, understand, and then you have to like see practical endgames, solve puzzles, and you will get better at understanding endgames. My first book that I read was an endgame book. It was Endless Endgame. There was a Casper book I read, but after that it was Endless Endgames by an Indian author, Murli Mohan. I'll put the link in the description. So that book is really good. Like I don't know if any of you have read it, but that book is really good. It gives you all the technical end games, must know end games. Uh, Sir, do we have to be in front of the pawn or the king to draw in the field of in front of the pawn? The pawn is trying to promote, right? So you have to bring your king in front of the pawn. When you're trying to win, also your king should be in front of the pawn because there's nowhere else to hide. You want to be around the pawn, but he will force you in front of the pawn when you're trying to win with an extra pawn. When you're trying to defend against the extra pawn, you bring your king behind, I mean, in front of opponent's pawn, not his king, opponent's pawn, and then you do this. This is how you draw with the Philidor. Now, next position I'm going to take you is, it's a position that happens a lot. Like you promote, opponent takes with the king. I mean, we take with the king, and we have an extra rook. Okay, but black has got a pawn. So in going to promote our pawn, and then when opponent takes with the rook, the king took back. Our king is far, far away. So now the question comes, can we win this game? Can our rook win this against the pawn and the king? So if you have a move, please type it in the chat. What will you play here for white? And yeah, Gukesh is just one hour back. That was a huge moment. So after this stream at 9 p.m., I'll do another stream analyzing the game 11 of World Championship. But for now, let's focus here. G6 check. That's a very tempting thing to do, but that only helps our opponent. Like a lot of people want to do the check. Like even when king is sitting in the back, you want to give a checkmate, poke him, but king just comes out, no? So when you do, king comes. This only helps your opponent. Now, because of rook g6 move, it's no longer winning. King coming in is too late. Like I'll show you, it's no longer winning, it's draw. Just because we played one wrong move. You'll see. So let's say you bring your king, right? I move my king. King comes too late, the pawn pushes. King comes in, king comes down. Even if you do some rook check, it doesn't help, the king keeps going down. And the pawn also keeps going down. So king comes in, pawn push. Let's say king comes down, king moves. And now you give a check, king comes here. So we are almost there, but we cannot do anything about it. If you move the rook down, pawn push. The king is too late. Just one tempo too late, and it's going to be a draw. Right? So let's go back. King was here, rook was here, pawn was here, king was here. Right? So the position is still winning for white, but only if you play the right move. So the idea here is cutting off the king. Don't let the king come down. Remember the Philidor position. Same idea as the Philidor position. First, we should not let the king cross that rank. Here, you should not let the king come down. So rook g5, the only move that wins. Not rook g1. Rook g1, rook g4 doesn't work, because if you let king one more step, then it's not possible. So like for example, you play rook g4, thinking you're stopping the pawn, thinking you're stopping the king, but the king will still come down. And now it's too late. Again, pawn pushes, king will come, pawn pushes, let's say king moves, pawn pushes. So now you will have to come here, and then the black king will come down. And you come here, king will come down and draw. So again, one tempo difference. So going back, the move is rook to g5. And it wins. So it might become very valuable in a tournament, right? You play a normal move without knowing the concept, and you draw the game, a game that you should have won. And then when you come back to analyze the game in the computer, it screams you were like plus 10, plus 12. Because this move wins. The difference is in the tempo. Like now, pawn moves, right? King has nothing to do. If king comes this way, you will just bring your king across. You win, right? So pawn pushes. You bring your king. Yeah. Again, black king cannot move down. You have cut him off. King moves. So cutting off the king is very important in a rook endgame. In a lot of practical endgames, in rook endgames, if you cut off the opponent king, you will have a huge advantage. So now you bring the king in. Wait. 1 second. Sorry. I mean, this will also win. After king move, if pawn pushes, you can come down here. King moves, come down here, and king is too late. This will also win, but you don't even need to do this. You can just attack the pawn. Because now you see the pawn and king are so far away, the king cannot defend the pawn. So pawn will have to push. Now you just go behind, and it's over. As long as you know how to checkmate with the rook, you should be good, right? You should win the game. So just because we cut off the king, we were able to win that game. Just like in the Philidor where we drew because you didn't let the king cross that rank. Here we win because you didn't let the king cross the rank. So these three technical endgames are very important to learn and practice. Now, how do you practice these endgames? You set up these positions like in chess.com or Lichess and practice against the best computer or any good computer, right? And if you're able to defend it or win it continuously, you'll be thorough in it. That's how you practice your endgames. Now I'm going to show you, after all the technical stuff, I'm going to show you now a study which some of you might have seen. I'm not sure, so let me set it up. This is a very famous study. You might have seen it. Let's see. So I've shown this so many times to the students. So let's say the pawn is, white pawn is over here. Okay, it's a rook endgame. Black rook is over here, and our king, white's king, is over here. All right. Now black king is over here. Pretty simple. That's it. This is the position. So, wait. Yeah. It is white's turn. The question is, will white be able to win this? Or will black win this? Or will it be a draw? So you can take a few seconds to think. And if you've decided, you can send the answer in the chat. White to play. What's the result? Aman, right? Aman says white wins. Okay. Let's see. Anyone who disagrees. Basically, Aman is saying you push the pawn and black can do nothing about it. Right? That's what he's saying. Oh, sorry, Anurag. Sorry. Anurag from Himachal. Yeah, where it is snow falling. Okay, sorry. So, yeah, Anurag is saying pawn push and no way to defend against the pawn promoting. Draw says arc stark. Okay. But how is it going to be a draw? Let's see. So, if white pushes, the most natural move, which is the best move, right? King c7. If white wants to draw the game, white will play king c7. But then black will just, do this and draw. But white wants to win, na? Black also wants to win, but he cannot. If white wants to win, white will push the pawn. Now that's his best chance. So if white pushes the pawn, how will black defend? This is a study. It's like a beautiful puzzle. It seems impossible, na, for black to defend. So Anurag is right, na? Pawn push. Now check. Okay. That's a good point. That's the only thing that black can do here. Give a check. If king goes here, instant draw. Right? Rook b7, rook d7, and you take the pawn. Draw. So king will not go there. What if king comes here? King b7 is a draw, Anurag. Don't play king b7. What if the king comes here? If you play king b7, draw, na? You play king b7, rook d7. Now you can't promote, it's pinned. So when the king moves, you take the pawn. Draw. Right? So let's go back. What if king c5? Yeah, somebody mentioned it. Badmashito. Rook to d1. Black finds another resource. And you still cannot promote. If you promote, you lose the game. Right? If white promotes, black wins. So white has to go back. And now you can either repeat by going back or just come here, draw. Right? There's a twist though. Keep listening. So after this check, king b7 instant draw, rook d7 and take. King c5, rook d1 skewer, draw. But there is one way for white to continue fighting for the win, and that is king b5. Still asking the question to black, how are we going to stop the pawn? Black has only one answer, which is give a check. Right? There's nothing else to do. And now again you can't go to c6 because rook d1, draw. King c4, rook d1 and you win. Black wins, right? You're too far away from the king. So you can't do that. So white just comes down. But where is white going? Again rook check. Again white comes down. Black is nothing else, only checks are possible for black. You can't stop the pawn any other way. Again check. Now comes the point of white's journey with the king. Now he plays, yeah. Okay, alright. Now he plays king c2. Crossing over without leaving any space for black to come down. So king to c2, and now white's winning, right? Black has run out of resources. Nothing more to do. Yeah, you can't do anything to stop the pawn, right? What do you guys think? Is there any chance for black to draw this game? Black can't win, but can he draw this game? Is there any chance at all? Or is it just over? White wins. I mean, if queen against rook, that white will be able to win easily. Because black king is not safe also. It's in the corner. So I assume everyone is saying white will win. So let's say I'm black. I just play rook d4. What will you do, guys? You're white. What do you do? I might be asking the most obvious question. But okay, but Bajit has got it. If you promote, black has got one last resource and he's using it. Black plays rook d4. Now, if you're careless and you promote, let's say you promote your queen, you're thinking you're winning. It's not winning. It's not winning because rook to c4 check. And we'll be crying coming out of the tournament hall. I mean, getting such a position is difficult. It's rare. But just like that. So rook c4, you take, which is forced. Otherwise, you lose. It's a draw. Stalemate. Black has nowhere to go. The queen is covering the square. So that was black's last desperate attempt to draw the game. But yeah, I believe no signal gaming. That is Aman, right? Aman has figured it out. Instead of promoting the queen, we promote to the rook. And now black doesn't have, sorry, where did the black rook go? Black rook goes here. And now black does not have that resource. Right? Black has no chance to play rook c4 now because you just take it and you're up a rook. Right? But it's equal pieces, no? One rook each. So how is white winning? White's winning because there is a threat of mate. But is one threat enough to win? No, black will defend. Black will defend the mate. Now how are we winning? White has to dig deep one last time. White to play and win. What's the move, guys? Anybody? It is king to b3. Double threat. Checkmate threat and king takes rook. And there is no way for black to stop both, which means black will lose a piece and that would be game over. I mean, you will win with an extra rook, right? So the starting position might seem like it's easily winning for white, but there are so many hurdles to cross along the way, and the last one is the big hurdle. The, what do you say? The stalemate trick. So you have to be careful there and then you win. So the story is that for a lot of years, this position was thought to be a draw. And then one day, I mean, just a story. It's no, I don't know if it's real or not. I've read it somewhere. But then a Russian girl or priest, there are two versions, called Savendra, found that if you promote to a rook, you win. And then that's how people realize this study is winning for white, not a draw. Till then, people thought it was a draw. The aim was to get a draw, but no, white's winning. Now I'm going to show you one last position. It's not a rook endgame, but it's like a bonus position. Again, some of you might have seen it, but if you haven't, then this position that I'm going to show, it's a must watch kind of position. So 1 second, it's not a rook endgame. You have a pawn, okay? Your king is over here. Black king is here. And opponent has a pawn here. Black has a pawn here, not opponent, black has a pawn here. It is black's turn, and black will of course play. What will black do? Will you waste a move with the king? Of course not. That would be a draw. White will take, black will take, draw. Black will push. Right? Now the question that I want you to think about is this position winning for black, winning for white, or a draw? If you already have seen it before, then please refrain from answering. If you are seeing it for the first time, then please answer your thoughts. What's the result of this game? It is white to play right now. Will white win? Will black win? Will it be draw? White winning, not possible, right? Everyone agrees. Can black win or will it be a draw? Aman, right? Yeah, Aman, I'm from Kerala. King b6. I mean, instead of pawn push, no, don't play king b6. You want to push the pawn. So you push the pawn, and now is it draw? Says Badma Shito. Badma Shito, you are like, are you like stockfish winning for black? No, I mean, black is pushing the pawn. What is Badma Shito saying? How on earth is this going to be a draw? Come on, Badma Shito. The pawn is going to promote. Your black's king will stop this pawn, right? Okay, looks like Aman has also got it somewhat. White will just play king to g7, right? Now, what does it do? You're coming to both sides by coming diagonally. So let's say black keeps pushing. Yeah, black can also move the king at any point that we will consider afterwards. Let's say black keeps pushing. You keep doing the same thing. King comes here. Now again, black has got two choices: push or move the king, right? So we'll consider both. First, if pawn pushes. Now what does white do? White says, I'm not going to lose this, and brings the king to e6. Now black realizes what white was doing by coming this way. This pawn is about to promote. So if pawn push, then just white pushes now. And it's a draw. Because if you bring the king, I'll also bring the king. Still will be a draw, even if one side promotes first. If both sides have queens and there's no skewer or any advantage, then it's draw, right? So this would be a draw. Now what if, so this starting position, right, it looks amazing. When you see it for the first time, it's just fascinating that a position like this, which looks like outright winning for black, is not winning for black. Because white brings his king like this. Now after pawn push, you do this. And now imagine black plays king b6. Black is saying, I'm going to take your pawn. Now what do you do? Now don't play king g5. Don't do that, because if you play king g5, black pushes. And you're no longer stopping that pawn or helping your pawn. So now you play. Anybody? What is the move for white in this position to make the draw? Push the pawn. I mean, this would be wasting it. Now, if you push it, king will just take it. Right? No. So don't push the pawn. The move is you continue the same journey. Yeah, king e5. Well done. Many of you found it. Well done. Yeah, I believe nothing. I forgot your name actually. I'm very bad at remembering names. I remember Anurag and Aman from today. And nothing from last stream. I forgot. You had mentioned it, but I forgot. Sorry about that. So king e5. And now the point is, if you take the pawn, white will just come in. And you're in the square. Animesh. Okay. All right. We're learning endgames, guys. If you joined in late, please go to the start of the stream so that you learn. We learned very important Rook Endgames till now. This is like our bonus question, like a bonus position, a pawn endgame. And now white is able to stop the pawn. So let's go back. After pawn push, king g7, pawn push, king f6. After king b6, you have to play king e5. So if you take king f4, and if you push, then king d6. Right? So king to d6, and now it's again draw. Because both sides promote at the same time, just like in the first variation. So I believe this position is called the Capablanca draw. This position. I believe it's because he created this puzzle, this study. It's one of the best studies in chess. It's very simple. My name is Shibin. My name is Shibin. Yeah, it is a draw. It would be a draw. So this position, it's not winning for black, even though it looks like it's winning for black, it's going to be a draw with correct play from white. If you bring the king like this. So that's all for today's class, guys. It was our first Sunday lecture with everyone. So every Sunday I'll do this, and after half an hour there'll be a stream on the game 11 of the World Championship, which we will all analyze together. So bye, guys.